Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good evening to everyone. Our distinguished speaker yang berhormat Saari Sungib, or Pak Abu as we usually, the more friendly way that we usually call, Dato Ahmad Farouk, Professor Azzam Tamimi, Dr. Nader Hashemi, Dr. Azhar. It's wonderful to have you all again. Friends of IRF, everyone here, participants of the summer school program, on behalf of the organizing committee, I'm Ihsan, and we would like to welcome you all to the, I would say, the first Islamic Renaissance Front IRF Summer School 2019 on Islam and Reform. So, just as a kickstart, maybe just one round of applause for our program that we are starting today, and hopefully it's going to be a wonderful coming few days. So before I go further, is that I'm sure most of us here, we are quite familiar with the works of IRF when it comes to the events, the activities and forums. Maybe one question that you may be thinking, what is it actually different about this program, and if you want to compare to the other programs and activities that we had over the past several years. So we've been organizing quite a number of public forums, discussing a lot of critical and important issues, conferences, and a lot of other events. And within this process, we've also engaged with a lot of scholars locally, international scholars as well. And over the past few years, one of the key themes of the works of IRF centers a lot around the topic of Islam and reform. And within this interaction, deep discussion, critical ideas and discourse among scholars, we've always realized that one of the important things that we need to move forward when it comes to the discourse and the discussions is to go in more detail, in a more comprehensive way, to discuss about Islam and reform. The usual question is, what do we actually mean when we talk about Islam and reform? So in other previous events, we may have discussed a lot of topics, but we have yet to explore in detail what is it actually that we really want to push forward about the whole idea about Islam and reform, which is not a new thing. Islam and reform is a long process which have a long history as well, and now it's a good opportunity for us, especially in the Malaysian setting, to explore further what do we actually want to move forward and explore, and what can be worked on for the future. So from that, because of that, we are having for the first time in IRF's activities before, we're having a more detailed program which is going to last for 6 days, and we're going to explore in a lot more the relevance on the topic of reform and Islam. So, I'm sure, as most of us are aware, going through the program schedule, we are going to have training sessions, we are going to have interactive workshop sessions, public forums, and of course for the session this evening, we are going to launch the event with an opening speech by Yang Berhormat Saari Sungib. And from that, we can just kickstart with a good discussion on the topic. I would like to start with introducing the speakers and the trainers for our program. So for the session this evening, we are going to have Yang Berhormat Saari Sungib. Very important title, as you can see at the front, The Need for Reform for the Future of Malaysia and the Muslim Ummah. So it's not just about the Malaysian setting, but we also want to look into this from a more bigger, universal, ummatic point of view, while at the same time, we're also going to look into what is the approach for the future, which is not just about the current time. So
Yang Berhormat Saari Sungib, he's the Selangor State Assembly member from the National Amanah Party, the state constituency for Hulu Kelang in the Amanah Party. He is the chief of the Amanah Gombak, the deputy chairman of Selangor State Government, and the head of the Dakwah Bureau of Amanah since 2015. Before joined politics, he was a prominent Dakwah figure and also a freedom fighter in Malaysia. He led Jamaah Islah Malaysia JIM in Dakwah, social and political movement as president from 1990 to 1999. He was awarded a special award by Amnesty International in 2001 for his contribution in defending human rights from 1986 to present. He has written over 30 books covering the issue of Dakwah, societal reform, and human rights. So I'm sure for the talk tonight, there's going to be new inputs to be shared as well. And for the training sessions, as the lineup we have in front of us, I will start with introducing Dr. Azzam Tamimi. Dr. Azzam Tamimi is the director of the Institute of Islamic Political Thought based in London. He has been visiting professor at Kyoto University and Nagoya University. He has published several books, the most recent of which was on Islam and Democracy, Rashid Ghannouchi, Democrat Within Islamism. He has also co-edited Islam and Secularism in the Middle East, another book on Hamas, The Unwritten Chapters, published in 2006. He writes and lectures on issues related to Islamic political thought and Middle Eastern politics. He is a regular commentator on Arabic satellite channel Al Jazeera and makes frequent appearance on a number of other channels, both English, Arabic, and currently an editor-in-chief of Al Hiwar TV channel. The next speaker I'm going to introduce is Dr. Nader Hashemi. He's a professor and director of the Center of Middle East Studies at the University of Denver. Born and raised in Toronto area to Iranian parents, Dr. Hashemi completed his BA, MA, and PhD in Canada. He obtained his PhD from University of Toronto and was a research affiliate at the Center for Middle Eastern Studies at Harvard University, a postdoctoral fellow at Northwestern University, and a global fellow at the UCLA International Institute. He has contributed to the New York Times, Time, the Wall Street Journal, CNN, and has appeared on the PBS NewsHour. He's the author of Islam, Secularism, and Liberal Democracy, Sectarianization, Mapping the New Politics of the Middle East, published in 2017, and co-editor to the Syria Dilemma in 2013. The People Reloaded, the Green Movement, and the Struggle of Iran's Future in 2010. As a student in Ottawa, Hashemi hosted a radio program called Islamic Mosaic. And last but not least, I would like to introduce Dr. Azhar Ibrahim. Dr. Azhar Ibrahim is the Deputy Head of the Department of Malay Studies, National University of Singapore. He obtained his PhD, MA at the same department in 2002 and 2008 respectively. He teaches classical and modern Malay literature, sociology of the Malays, as well as Islamic intellectual traditions and civilization at the National Institute of Education, Nanyang Technological University. At NIE, Nanyang Technological University, he also co-teaches multiculturalism and critical pedagogy. He finished his postdoctoral research on social theology in Muslim Southern East Asia at the Faculty of Theology, University of Copenhagen in Denmark, and at Abbasi Islamic Studies Program at Stanford University in the US. Currently, he teaches Malay Indonesian literature and ideologies of development at the department. To continue further for our discussion tonight, I would like to invite the Director of Islamic Renaissance Front, Dato Dr. Ahmad Farouk, to deliver an opening speech. To you, Dr. Farouk.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Hasan. Welcome everyone, and welcome to Dr. Azzam Tamimi, Dr. Nader Hashemi, and Dr. Ibrahim. It took a long time for us to come up with this program, basically, and we had revised and revised again and again the topics, and also we had contacted many other scholars, and finally we ended up with the three of you, and we're very happy that you agreed to be trainers for our first summer school, what we call summer school. Basically, it's more Australian summer, right? Not from England or the America.
Not Chicago.
No, yeah. All right. The whole idea of this summer school is basically to train you, the participants, basically on this idea of Islamic reform agenda. And some of the issues that we want to discuss about would be looking into the political theory from the time of the Prophet and his companions to the modern times. And also to look into some of the details of modern issues like secularism, pluralism, and so on and so forth, and human rights. And so these are things that I think will require us to interact with the trainers, and we have devised in a way that, you know, the trainers had already given you their papers for you to study, and you are supposed to come well prepared for the sessions. And, you know, you could have a more active interaction with them, right? And we hope that, you know, you learn more when you interact rather than listening. As you, I mean, we have been students, right? We know that it's better when we ask questions that we are not sure of, or even we want to debate or discuss about any other ideas by the speakers or by the trainers. This whole idea came about because it's an imperative in our religion for reform, right? Reform is basically to go back to the understanding of the original text and methodology. As Prophet Saleh has mentioned, in uridu illa al-islah ma sata'tu wa ma tawfiqi illa billah. Yeah? All I wanted was to do reform, yeah, as much as I could. And there is no guidance for me except from God, except from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I don't want to take a lot of your time, but what I really hope is that you would give your full commitment to this course, to this summer camp, because we have spent a lot of money and we do not charge you any registration fee for this course, because I think Ihsan, he attended a course in Cordoba last year, and you can ask him how much he spent to basically to participate in that summer school over there. So we hope that, you know, with this, that you would be able to utilize the time and basically to engage with not only with the trainers over here, but also with our fellows who will be basically managing your workshops at night, during night time. Yeah, and so with that, I would like to say thank you for participating in our summer school, and inshallah I'll would like to hand over back to Ihsan. Ihsan, can I give back to you before you can invite Brother Saari Sungib to deliver his speech? Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmad Farouk. Dr. Farouk was referring to a program which I attended in Granada on something on a critical Muslim studies summer school at that time. I think one of you is also here, Munira. Yeah, I met Munira in Granada in the same summer school as well. Yes, it was quite costly. I think this is part of the same thing of the journey of learning. Learning is not usually cheap and free. But I think we are quite fortunate for this time. That is one of the advantages, at least for this particular program, that despite the amounts we paid, so the most important part is we make sure that we'll get the benefit of learning most. And during the ice-breaking session, almost all participants mainly say that the most important thing is the interactions and the learning process that everyone wants to get most for this program. Next, I would like to invite Yang Berhormat Saari Sungib, or Pak Abu as he is more friendly known of, to deliver an opening speech, share knowledge, experiences perhaps on the topic of the need for reform for the future of Malaysia and the Muslim Ummah. Let's start with applause, and I would like to invite Pak Abu to the stage.